I ran a test on 3 mockups for the same invitation design. Same product, same title, same tags, same description. The only thing I changed was the main photo. One did okay, one took off, and the third, the one I was sure was going to be the winner, completely flopped. If I hadn't tested it, I would have put that mockup on every invitation design in my shop, and I would have been quietly losing money for years without knowing why. That test changed how I ran my entire business. So today, I'll show you how to find a mockup that works, how to test it properly, and how to stop guessing at the most important image in your listing. If you watched my SEO video, you know how to get your listing to the first page. That's half the job. Getting found and getting clicked are separate problems, and almost nobody separates them. You can nail your keywords, rank beautifully, and get in front of thousands of customers and still make nothing. Once you're on that first page, your SEO is done working. Your photo is the only thing left selling, and most sellers pick that photo based on what they think is the prettiest. The most important commercial decision in that listing is made on vibes. Walk with me for a second. Think about walking down the cereal aisle. 30 boxes, most of them basically the same cereal. You don't stand there reading the nutrition label. You reach out for one in about a second. And the only thing that made that decision was the box. Unless you already have a favorite cereal. But stay with me, you'll get the point. Here's the part I want you to sit with. Those brands who won that aisle don't redesign their box every time they put out a new cereal flavor. Same box, same layout, new flavor. Because the box already works. It already gets that hand to reach. Your search result page is the aisle. Your mockup is the box. And once you find the box that gets the hand to reach, your job is not to get creative. Your job is to keep using it. But before I get into the how, none of that matters if the listing beneath it is a mess. A great mockup on a badly built listing just gets you clicks that don't convert. I've got a free Etsy shop audit workbook that walks you through your shop section by section. Titles, tags, descriptions, photos, it's linked below. Run through it first, get your foundation right, then come back and test your mockups because you want to be running this test on a listing that's ready. Okay, there's 3 parts to this: finding candidates, testing them, and repeating what wins. Let's start with finding candidates. We're going to do that by looking at your competitors. Remember, success leaves clues. And in this case, the clues are sitting right there on the first page. Search your product the way a buyer would. Look at what's clearly selling. Bestseller badges, high review counts, the ones parked at the top. But don't just look at one, look at the top 10, because one listing is an antidote and 10 is a pattern. Now I want you to get specific because that one looks nice isn't research. Is the first image a flat lay, a lifestyle shot, or a styled scene? Straight on or an angle? Cropped tight or lots of breathing room? What's the background? Is it white? Is it wood? Is it linen? Color? Are there props? If so, how many? What kind? Is there text on the image or is it just clean? Then ask the only question that matters. What do the winners have in common that the listings buried on page 4 don't? And you're not copying anybody's photo, you're learning what the buyer's eye responds to in your category. Because every category is going to be different. What wins for invitations won't win for tapestries. Pull 3 or 4 directions out of that research. Those are your candidates. So, where do the actual mockups come from? If you're selling digital products, buy good ones. They're worth spending money on. Cheap or overused mockups make your product look like everyone else's. And that's the exact opposite of what we want. Shooting a physical product, natural light is about 80% of it. Get near a window, overheads off, no flash, clean, simple background, minimal props that are on trend. Think the pink bow trend right now. Add 1 or 2 little pink bows. You want enough to give the photo a feeling, but not so much that it competes with the actual product. And your phone camera is fine. You don't need a DSLR camera in 2026. The balance is this. Don't overcomplicate it. You're not shooting a magazine cover, but don't rush it either. This photo is doing more work than anything else in your listing. Now, the test itself, and this is where people get it wrong. First, optimize your listing. Titles, tags, descriptions. You want that right before you start any testing. If your SEO is weak, nobody sees your mockups and the test tells you nothing. Then, one variable. Duplicate that listing 3 or 4 times. Every duplicate is identical. Same title, same tags, same description, same price. The only thing that changes is the main image. If you change 2 things, you've learned nothing, and you'll have a result and no idea what caused it. List them all and then leave it alone. Give it a few weeks, not days, a few weeks. Watch views, clicks, and sales. You're waiting for a clear winner, not a slight edge, a very clear winner. And if none show up, that's information too. It means your candidates weren't different enough from each other and you need to go back to the research and start again. So, what does a winner look like? It stops your eye. It catches your gaze while scrolling. It doesn't blend into the grind around it. It doesn't read busy or chaotic because busy reads as cheap and you want it to look premium, like a listing worth clicking on. And make sure you're judging your photo in thumbnail size, not just computer size, because nobody sees your full size image until after they've clicked. And then the part most people skip, you repeat it. My winning invitation mockup became my main mockup for every invitation listing I had in my shop. I ran the same testing on my tapestries and I got the same results. One clear winner and clear losers. Every tapestry after that used the winning format. 1 test per product type, and then you're done thinking about it. New theme? Same mockup format. New design dropped in. Same box. New flavor. I want to go back to that 3rd mockup I showed you earlier, the flop. I loved it. I remember thinking, why am I even testing this? This is the clear winner. It's bright, it's clear, there's no clutter. It's obviously going to win. And it came dead last. And that's the real lesson here more than any of the steps. It isn't that mockups matter. You already knew that. It's that your taste is not your customer's taste. And no amount of experience is going to fix that. 4 years in, making 7 figures, and I still couldn't reliably guess which mockup would be the winner. I just got better at admitting that. Testing isn't something you do because you're a beginner. It's an ongoing process that will make you a winner. So run the test. Let the data tell you the answer, even when the results are a little annoying. And when you find the one that works, please don't get creative on me. Use it again. Use it on everything. Same box, new flavor. Because that's how 10 designs can turn a shop into doing almost $1 million. If you want to watch me do this all again from scratch, hit subscribe because I'm rebuilding and I'm sharing it all right here. I'll see you in the next one.